Is Pete Davidson really just the tattooed, edgy comic who somehow ends up dating the most famous women in the world? Or is there something more, something the headlines don't tell you? Let's start with what you think you know. Yes, Pete Davidson has dated Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian, Emily Ratajkowski, and even rumored names like Ice Spice and Chase Sway Wonders. His love life makes headlines faster than most people can send a text. But here's the truth, Pete doesn't chase fame, fame chases him. He once said, "I'm just a guy who tells jokes and goes to therapy." That quote alone tells you everything the tabloids leave out. Pete was born in Staten Island, New York, in 1993. His father, a firefighter, died on September 11 when Pete was just 7 years old. That trauma shaped everything, his humor, his struggles, his entire identity. In his own words, comedy became his escape, his therapy, and eventually his career. He started doing stand-up at just 16, and by 20, he became one of the youngest cast members ever on Saturday Night Live. But even then, he never fit the SNL mold. He wasn't doing impressions or elaborate sketches, he just came out, looked at the camera, and said things most people are too scared to admit. He made jokes about his mental health, about his relationships, about being suicidal, and somehow made it all funny. He's been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and lives with Crohn's disease, a painful chronic illness. He talks about these things publicly, not for attention, but because, as he says, someone has to. In 2018, his engagement to Ariana Grande turned him into a tabloid sensation overnight. But when they broke up, right after Mac Miller's death, the internet turned on him. Memes, hate, even death threats. What did Pete do? He went offline, disappeared for a while, and later came back stronger. He checked into rehab voluntarily multiple times to manage his mental health. He built friendships with people like Machine Gun Kelly and John Mulaney, other comedians dealing with addiction, depression, and the dark side of fame. He also got heavily tattooed, over 100 tattoos at one point, then started removing many of them, saying he didn't want to be stuck in the sad boy image forever. That says a lot about growth. And let's talk career. Beyond SNL, he starred in movies like The King of Staten Island, which is semi-autobiographical and directed by Judd Apatow. It's raw, funny, and heartbreaking. That's Pete at his best. He also created and starred in Bupkis, a dark comedy series loosely based on his own chaotic life. Think Curb Your Enthusiasm meets trauma therapy. And yet, despite all this, people still ask, why is Pete Davidson famous? Maybe because he's not trying to be anyone but himself. In a Hollywood obsessed with image, Pete is unapologetically real. He doesn't sugarcoat his pain. He doesn't hide his scars. And somehow, that's become his superpower. So the next time someone says Pete's just that guy who dates celebrities, remind them. He's survived personal tragedy, battled serious mental health issues, made a name for himself in a cutthroat industry, and used comedy not to escape, but to heal. Love him or not, Pete Davidson is proof that the most unforgettable people are often the most misunderstood. If you made it this far, drop a in the comments and tell us, what's one thing about Pete Davidson that surprised you the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's ready to see the real side of fame. This is the truth about Pete Davidson, no clickbait, just the facts that matter.